This is the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast. Here's Rick Ucchino and SP3 on the Believe Podcast Network.
Oh, and we are not alone. We are not alone. Our good brother from the other side of the pond, from Talk Sport, Alec McCarthy, here with us today. It is a huge weekend, if you didn't know. Royal Rumble weekend, my favorite WWE event of all time. And my Bengals will advance to their first Super Bowl for the first time since I was born. It's going to be a big-ass weekend, ladies and gentlemen. SP3, what is going on, good sir?
I am doing well, much better than Rick probably is going to be after he faces Patrick Mahomes this weekend. But we are here to talk about the Royal Rumble, and we got my brother from an Irish mother here with us, Alex McCarthy. It's a great day.
What's happening, my man? Believe in the Pro Wrestling Podcast. You heard me.
Yes.
Thank you very much for inviting me on, man. Great to hook up with both of you once more. Been a minute, SP3, man. We've been deprived of our R&B wrestling loving roots, but nevertheless, the Daily Boys are back in Believe form.
The Daily Boys are like Cobra Kai. We never die. We will. I owe Alex my life, so I will always pay for dojos to keep him teaching the kids of Reseda karate.
I like the way you walked your way along that analogy there. Just go. It worked.
I'm Terry Silver, ladies and gentlemen. He's John Kreese. If I had to spell it out for anybody.
Well, we do appreciate you guys tuning in. Before we get into to all the predictions, we got a really nice card that is shaked out for this Royal Rumble. Say what you want about the build up to it. The show is going to be, at least we hope, pretty damn fantastic. Couple of matches we've been wanting to see for a very, very long time on here. I do want to remind people to go ahead and subscribe to the Believe in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. Got a chance to win cash money this weekend. A free $50 to WWE Shop. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel. Follow SP3 and myself on Twitter. Follow Alex while you're there. The Twitter machine is right there. Follow him as well, but he's not part of the contest entry process, and we will announce our winner on this coming Monday. So again, we do appreciate you guys making us a part of your day. Gentlemen, let's talk about some Royal Rumble matchups here. We'll start with these three big title matches we got. Let's open it up with the one I think we're all most excited about. Cowboy Brock Lesnar going up against Bobby Lashley. This is a match that Lashley has wanted for 20 years. Brock Lesnar has been treating this like a joke in the entire build up to it. SP3, how do you see this one shaking out?
I think that this is going to be big, meaty men slapping meat. It's going to be two bulls in a china shop breaking things down. We're going to get the barricade broken with a spear. Everything's going to go down. But in the end, Brock Lesnar will retain the WWE Championship.
How long are we expecting this match to go? Because I see this as a sprint with landmines in it. Like, this is just going to be 5 minutes long, and it's just going to be the hits. But god damn, are they going to be big ass hits in this match?
I think if it was north of 8 minutes, I'd be really surprised. And that's fine, because for Lesnar and Lashley, you just said it there. It's going to be one hell of a sprint. It's going to be a la Lesnar, Goldberg, Mania 33, maybe just pack all the destruction and carnage you can into a lovely sprint of an encounter. And I think that's the best for business when it comes to these two. Let me just say, this Mania card overall, outside of the Mania matches, is one of the strongest in recent memory. So very pumped to see what these world title matchups bring. But I do believe Brock Lesnar retains in this matchup.
Yeah, I think we're going to call a clean sweep on this one. It's probably the most predictable match on the card, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a bad thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they did one of those things where these two brawl for about 4 or 5 minutes before the actual start of the match to try to elongate how long they're actually out there. So if you look at the entire performance, maybe we get in that 8-minute range, but I'm expecting this match to be south of 5 before the 3 count has actually finished. But yeah, I think Brock Lesnar is going to take out Bobby Lashley. I think we're going to get one of those spots though, where maybe Lesnar busts out of the Hurt Lock. Does Bobby actually get the Hurt Lock in on this match, and Brock just, big meaty man meets his way out of this one?
I can see it where Brock can do it, and of course he's built up to do it, but I think that would take something away from the Hurt Lock going forward. But I can see something like Bobby getting the Hurt Lock in, and then of course Cedric and Shelton come out to get their get beaten to death again, and fans can complain, oh man, why they do that to the Hurt Business? Because y'all all ask for it to come back. Y'all keep asking for it, and that's what they do every single time. But that's the only way I can see that. But I think that this is just going to be one of the highlights of the night on Sunday. I mean, on Saturday.
Old habits die hard, right? They did kind of sow the seed, though, because obviously at day one, Lashley did get him in the Hurt Lock, which Lesnar did not break. It was broken, but not by Lesnar. So it's interesting that they've kind of maybe put that there with the prospect of maybe he can't break out of it. So it could be a spot. The only thing I disagree with Rick there is it's not the most predictable. Becky and Doudrop is by far the most predictable.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
But because the thing with Lesnar and Lashley, which I feel goes hand in hand with Reigns and Rollins, one of Reigns and Lesnar is losing. It's just who is losing, right? And I don't want to jump too far ahead, but conventional wisdom would say if they are trying to circle back to what the plans were at day one, then you assume Roman is the one who is losing. But it's not out of the question that Lesnar is the one that loses, because he is technically the babyface in the equation. If they are doing the whole, but then they get back in the Rumble and win it, in theory, it would be Lesnar that they would, again, please, Rick, know that me and SP3 do this. We put WWE hats on.
I know.
It's not what I would do, but potentially, if they were to go there, I could see them booking Brock that way for sure.
Because there's no strong person. Like, this is one of the more up in the air men's Royal Rumbles in recent memory. There's no strong favorite, so they can legitimately have a Roman or Brock lose the title and then show up in the men's Royal Rumble. That's how no one that's currently announced for the men's Royal Rumble seemed like that strong of a favorite that people think that the current champions, one of them, is going to win the men's Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Well, and that's like, look, SP3, we did earlier in the show, I think it was our show that came out on Monday, we said who should win the Royal Rumble, right? And we both agreed it's Big E. Big E should win the men's Royal Rumble as the big make good for dropping the belt to Brock Lesnar at day one. Do I think that's going to happen? Well, we'll just have to wait and find out, shall we? It's a clean sweep. We all believe that Brock Lesnar is going to retain his WWE Championship over Bobby Lashley at the Royal Rumble. So let's move on to the other one. Alex, you said it. We think one's going to retain. We think the other is going to lose. We're talking about an over 500-day reign here for the head of the table, Roman Reigns. He is going up against Seth Rollins. Seth has a very good track record in singles competition with Roman Reigns. Alex, are you going to call it now? Are you going to call Seth Rollins winning and taking the Universal Championship from Roman Reigns?
I think I am. I think Seth does win it. Just going off the reports of Meltzer, day one was meant to be Lesnar taking the title off Roman Reigns, right? Presumably, Paul Heyman would have factored into this. Remember, Roman had only fired him a week or two before, had been off TV. Heyman then appears on the Raw with Lesnar after day one, right? But and there wasn't really anything said about it, was it? Other than he was with Lesnar again. Presumably, there would have been some dots connected. He would have screwed Roman at day one, whatever. We would have got a fuller story there. And then they say Rollins would have won the four-way. All of that leads me to believe if it is still Lesnar and Reigns at WrestleMania, which it absolutely is, then that means the winner of the Royal Rumble has got Seth Rollins, right? Like, it makes more sense to me in that department than it would Bobby Lashley, for instance. Yeah, I just feel like Seth Rollins has been positioned for the past year, maybe, to get back into the spot that he kind of belongs in with WWE, and I do feel like that time has arrived now. And I also think the alliance with Kevin Owens is not for nothing. That you could make a very good case that Kevin Owens, fresh after re-signing with the dub, he might be winning the Rumble, and then you get another story of him and Rollins at WrestleMania, which would not be a bad thing whatsoever. And of course, you could even maybe chuck Big E into that. I don't know how it's going to play out. You might get a three-way, but that's my long way of saying I do think Seth Rollins will beat Reigns. Probably some shenanigans. Knowing Rollins' character, you would assume so. Reigns has obviously got the Usos on side, but I don't know. Does Lesnar get involved? It's not clear how it will all play out. But I do think this will be the start of the turn for Roman, if it hasn't already started already. But again, in WWE minds, I just think that's curious because him and Lesnar. I wonder if Lesnar is a hotter face than WWE anticipated. But either way, I think Rollins is going to be the guy to dethrone Roman, which I'm not sure how I feel about. Not the guy, just the reign ending.
Yeah, I feel the same way because like this reign has gone so long and he has run roughshod on the entire roster. Like this is a win that could make somebody. You could make a brand new top level star, and Seth Rollins has been that guy for a while. Now he hasn't been on that upper echelon for quite a bit now. So I prefer him getting this win over somebody like Brock Lesnar, who definitely does not need it. So that might be a nice little what's
interesting to think
all
about
the changes there, but yeah, it's
sorry, just to think about on this here, and Seth said this in the chat I had with him this week.
Yeah, I was gonna let you plug that a little bit later on. Yeah,
there you go. He would, don't forget when Roman was running through everyone on SmackDown, Rollins was there, right? Like by design, Rollins and Reigns were kept apart for the longest time, and Rollins even said he thought that's where they were going. Then off to Raw he goes, right? And it's like, oh, okay, I guess we're not doing that. It's only by chance we're getting it at the Rumble, which also leads me to believe there must be a reason. I know WWE aren't the best long-term planners. There must be a reason WWE would pivot away from heading towards Reigns and Rollins and move Rollins to Raw. There must, and again, we're led to believe the plans were that he was going to win the title at day one, and that I still think that they're going to be on course for whatever those plans were. There must be a reason they changed direction at the draft.
What do you think, SP3?
This is probably the toughest match to predict, honestly, because when Roman Reigns has a 500 plus day reign as Universal Champion, the longest Universal Champion in history, you kind of want the guy that beats him to be made. Like me and Alex, when we were doing Wrestling Daily, we talked about Big E being that guy to beat him. Over the last couple of months since NXT 2.0 has come about, people have said Braun Breaker.
But
ladies and gentlemen, I am here as your fact historian to give you some facts. 503-day reign, Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. Who ended his reign? Roman Reigns, who was already the top babyface. 434-day reign, WWE Championship title reign of CM Punk. Who ended that? The Rock. A bona fide Hall of Famer and legend who came back and ended that reign.
He needed the 10th reign. He needed it.
Cena's 380-day reign with the WWE title. Who ended that? Randy Orton, who was the youngest world heavyweight champion of all time. What am I trying to tell you is that WWE never makes anyone with these long reigns. They just go back to someone that they know, and what they know is Seth Rollins. So that's why I believe that although this is on a 3-week build, and I don't understand how you end this reign on a 3-week built matchup, is still a matchup that's money for them that they were always going to go to. They was always going to get to. So I will say Seth Rollins gets the victory here.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Rowan retains and then loses it at Elimination Chamber either.
Me too.
Yeah, I keep going back and forth on this because I can talk myself honestly into either one of these guys. And it's just, it all depends on how WWE decides to make good on what their plans were initially for day one before Roman came down with COVID, right? Because that's what changed the landscape of everything. And then you had people start to get hurt over on the SmackDown side, which is why WWE took the hammer in case of emergency, break glass. And now we have Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, which was always this match that they had in their back pocket. Do they pull the trigger with Seth Rollins? Yeah, I think they do. that at least that's the route that I'm thinking the most. I'm like 49% sure that Seth Rollins is walking away with the title, and it's drastically gone down because like I did an episode with SP3 earlier this week on the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast where I was like 100%, and I've talked myself down in this time all the way down to 51% just because I try to put my WWE hat on this. But I think we're going to get some shenanigans. There's no way that Roman Reigns is losing this match clean. I'll say that much.
No.
Whether it's Brock that gets involved, whether it's Kevin Owens that gets involved, whether it's fingers crossed John Moxley that gets involved, who the hell knows? Somebody's getting involved in this match, and Seth Rollins is going to sneak one, probably with a roll up, because that's how WWE would end this title run, on a freaking roll up. And Seth Rollins,
right.
and Seth Rollins is going to walk away with the Universal Championship, and they'll continue with their plans, whatever they were heading into WrestleMania. It's going to be Roman and Lesnar, which makes me think maybe Lesnar or Paul Heyman gets involved and costs Roman the title, and that's how you work your way toward WrestleMania and start that build. But I think it's going to be Seth Rollins versus somebody else for the Universal Championship. They're just going to switch the brands with these titles.
I'll tell you what though, both world title matches are going to be great for different reasons.
Yeah.
Reigns and Rollins will be great. Lesnar and Lashley will be great. So I'm here for it, man. Give me a surprise. Give me the action. I'm all here for it.
All right, let's move on to our lone women's title match of the night. Becky Lynch defending her Raw Women's Championship, which she has held while active for nearly 3 years now. She will be defending against, I will never call her Doudrop, Piper Niven. I mean, clean sweep across the board. Some way, somehow, Becky Lynch hangs onto this title. I don't think there's any way they're putting it on Doudrop heading into WrestleMania season.
Doudrop, of course, Doudrop's gonna win. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, of course, Becky Lynch is gonna get the victory in this one. This is why I said Bianca Belair should have got this opportunity at the Royal Rumble, so there was at least some mystery of who would win, because fans would think, oh, they're gonna make good on Bianca Belair and the SummerSlam match, and you want it to happen at a big show. And now that the rumor is out that I don't think that's gonna be at WrestleMania anymore, my percentage has gone the other way, where I'm almost 100% sure Bianca Belair ain't getting this shot at WrestleMania. So should have happened here. But yeah, Becky Lynch beats.
I disagree with you. I wholeheartedly, not on the result of the match. Becky Lynch is winning, hands down. I disagree with you on the fact that I don't want Bianca Belair to get another match if she's going to lose. Because if she gets another match and loses again, the fan base is going to lose their ever-loving mind. All right? Like, if they're not going to put Bianca Belair over anytime soon, she don't get another match until after Mania season, to where she actually has a chance of winning. I
actually agree with Rick on that one. Like, I don't want to see Bianca eat another loss in this feud. This WWE's new habit, that is, like they're doing with Roman and Brock. Let's just have them wrestle loads before we get to the actual match we're building towards. I hate that shit. But let me tell you this. I think obviously Becky is going to win, or maybe it's Doudrop Rousey. Who knows? But yeah, again, like it's going to be fun. It's a different kind of opponent that Becky's ever had.
Yes.
And those familiar with Piper's work will know just how talented she is and what she brings to the table. So I do think it can be a real fun contrast and test for Becky. But the suspense is out the window. It's firmly a Becky Lynch show.
Yeah, like that's the intrigue to me is, and Becky has said this herself. She's not the most athletic. She's not the most flippy. She's not the strongest one out there. She does not have the strength of Bianca Belair, who can lift up Doudrop for the KOD.
Who does?
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like Bianca Belair is incredible. So it's like, how does Becky Lynch beat Doudrop? That is the intriguing part of this to me. I think she'll probably end up having to cheat to win. Because that's just what they've been having her do, because God knows they can never just give her a definitive win over anybody, ever, even dating back to WrestleMania 35. But yeah, she's going to, some way, by hook or crook, she's going to Eddie Guerrero this thing. She's going to win it. She's going to walk away with the Raw Women's title. And then then Monday night in Cincinnati, she's going to have a stare down with Ronda Rousey, probably.
Probably. I mean, that's the thing, though. I think since she came back, she's been having a great run in the ring. All of her matches have been really, really good, to be fair. Like, it's probably the best stretch of her career, performance-wise. And that's kind of the big-time Beck's character is, it doesn't matter how I win, just that I win.
Right.
Winning is the important thing. So there you go. She'll find a way.
All right. The Grit couple versus the It couple. Edge and Beth Phoenix versus the Miz and Maurice. How we thinking about this one's going to go down, SP3?
I gotta go with the Grit couple. It kind of seems obvious that they're gonna win, even though Edge beat the Miz at day one. Outside of attempted murder by Maurice with a brick, Edge and Beth Phoenix have got the better of them each and every week. So it kind of seems like it's written for the It couple to win. But do I realistically think that WWE is going to have the first couple of WWE Hall of Famers lose in their first match together? No. So I'll go with the Grit couple.
Yeah, hell no. This one to me is just the story is built around Beth Phoenix getting her hands on Maurice, right? And as soon as that happens, this match is over. So it's going to be a lot of Edge and Miz early on. Maurice is going to be ducking Beth Phoenix. Beth will probably kick the shit out of the Miz at some point during this match. She'll finally get her hands on Maurice, and then this bad boy will be over. I'm taking Edge, and I am taking Beth Phoenix for the win. Alex?
What else do you need me to say? Yes, easily. Man, it's the most one-sided feud since Orton Wyatt, I think, ever. It's just like the Grit couple every single week seems to get the upper hand. And again, just their star power heading into WrestleMania season. Like, we're at a stage where the Miz needs no wins. Doesn't make a difference. They're not going to jettison him anywhere else if he gets a win here. It doesn't matter. He's in this very kind of special niche spot in WWE where he is what he is. And but Edge, we're hearing stuff about AJ Styles potentially and different other avenues that he might go at WrestleMania. I think for him and Beth and what they bring to the table, it's just a no-brainer that they would win, right? I don't see this. I don't know. I was about to say I don't see this going long, but every Edge match since he's come back has been long. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're going to weave some story into here, but it has to be the Grit couple.
Yeah, WWE does not get cheated with Edge clocking in for work.
They get their money.
Yes,
he's the new Triple H marathon man. Anytime Triple H is on a WrestleMania, it's like a 20-minute match, even though it doesn't need to be. Edge is like, I'll get 25, 30 minutes on this paper.
Even when Triple H was in Saudi Arabia, Randy Orton, he was like, it's 2,000 degrees, but you know what? 27 minutes. Start the clock. I'm going to wrestle. He just wanted to kill himself. Ridiculous.
We were going over the WrestleMania 35 card because I think we were talking about how the fans were, because Rick had forgot that Kofi and Bryan was like the middle of the show and there was 5 matches before we got to that women's main event with Triple H getting 25 minutes with a retiring Batista.
Hey, Big Dick Dave send-off. Come on now. Listen, don't shortchange my man.
I don't know how I forgot about that initially, because I remember now, like, screaming at the TV, like, for the love of God, how much longer are you going to wait to put these ladies on television? It's the next damn day. Let's hurry up with this shit. No, let's pull out a tool chest and start breaking out pliers and shit. Why not? Fuck it. It's Dave's last match. Oh my God. So a clean sweep. Clean sweep here. We're going with the Grit couple over the It couple. Let's go with this men's Royal Rumble match next, gentlemen, which is let's be honest, we've talked about this already. It is lacking true competitors. You could go with somebody like Randy Orton, who doesn't need it. You could go with Riddle. Big E. Johnny Knoxville could pull the shocker of the world. We could get Knox and Brock at WrestleMania. That might be how they decide to go with that.
Nah. Knoxville and Rollins for the work rate. There you go.
Yes, there we go. Yes, absolutely. Yes. And an exploding fist match. I think that would work out perfectly. SP3, I'll go with we both agreed that Big E should be the winner here based out of the competition that has been laid out in front of us, the field that has been laid before us. Again, look at the graphic. I don't see a lot of favorites in this matchup. Who are you going with?
Man, this is like bare bones. Like, I think the only people that have a chance of winning that we just showed on screen are Kevin Owens and Big E. because they have actual stories, they have wins, they've been presented as main eventers for the last couple of months. We kind of figure, Orton and Riddle would kind of be behind them, but you kind of feel like this is going to be their opportunity to get going on the story of RK Bro explodes at WrestleMania. So they're kind of out the way. So it's really those two, and then maybe a surprise. I don't know any surprise names that have been brought up. Most of the names that have been brought up have been women because they're lacking in women. So they're going to bring in a lot of different women from outside the company or haven't been on in a long time. So out of the options that I have, I'm going to go with Big E. I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to go with Big E, redeem him for the loss. You told a nice story with his match with Seth Rollins a couple of weeks ago. Now you have Rollins with the win over Big E. So there's a story there, especially if Rollins is the Universal Champion. But you told that story that Big E hasn't been the same since he made his entrance with the WWE title at day one. And you could kind of tell the story, have him come in early in the matchup, fight his way through, fight from underneath, make it to the final four, make it to the final two, and win. And then you can hear like Corey Graves, because he was the one telling that story, say that this is finally the Big E that won the WWE Championship again, and he's going to WrestleMania.
I'm concerned about Big E's spot with Xavier Woods' injury. And then this is something we talked about earlier this week, because now all of a sudden on Friday Night SmackDown, they have Big E teaming up with Kofi Kingston against Corbin and Madcap Moss. So I would not put it past WWE to forego whatever they were going to do with Big E, because they need now Big E as a member of the New Day to continue whatever the hell they're doing with Madcap and Corbin. I would not put it past WWE to do that. I'm concerned for that. I think it should be Big E who wins the Royal Rumble. Well, I'm going to put my WWE hat on here, and I'm going to go, well, he lost earlier in the night. We're going to have him come in and win at the end of the night and get his shot with Brock Lesnar. I think Roman Reigns is winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the more I think about it, I've done a couple of these this week, even on my own show. And it's just like, that sinking realization that they probably are going to do that. Like they couldn't possibly think of a way to get to Roman and Lesnar without the Rumble. They couldn't do it. Put the graphic back up for me, would you, Rick?
Yeah.
Let me walk you through some things. I mean, the Dirty Dogs can go home. Damian Priest and Sheamus have got no hope. No, Madcap and Baron Corbin. No, I hope Montez has a great showing.
Yes.
I hope he's like an early entrant and he lasts till the late 20s. That would be great for him. Chad Gable.
Give me him as my my runner up. To be honest with you.
Yeah, put him in the final four. Like, give him the rub. I would like to see that. Chad Gable as well, I think, has come out and done great over the past few weeks. We all knew how great Chad Gable was, but it just seems like lately they're actually showcasing that. I don't think he's going to win or anything like that. But again, I'd like to see a good showing for him. Won't get my hopes up on that though. Austin Theory, I think, will get a good run. You don't sit in Vince McMahon segments for no reason. Yeah. The Mysterios are more than likely going to break up. Let's be honest. They're going to have something together at WrestleMania. Omos is the only wild card I'm looking at here. Right? Now, hear me out. I don't think he should win. I don't think he will win. But is there a reason they've rushed through the story with him and AJ? Right? I don't know if they've got something else in store for him. They clearly think highly of him. Is it because AJ's moving on to something else? It could be the shock of this. It could be. And before you kind of go, it's the most reasonable shock if you put on WWE's hat. Right? Yes. It's who they would think, you know what, that could work. But I think and want either Big E or Kevin Owens. And I think both of them achieve the same goal of getting back to Seth Rollins. And they'll be involved in the story either way. If Big E wins, Kevin Owens is still aligned with Seth Rollins anyway. And you could get your way to the triple threat via double cross. Or I don't know, right? There's different ways you can get there. I think it is a two-horse race between Big E and Kevin Owens. If a world champion, Reigns or Lesnar, do the U-turn and win it at the end of the night.
I'm hoping this is not the result. Please, I hope.
Well, hey, there's always the pipe dream. There's always the pipe dream of both Reigns and Lesnar retain. Big E wins the Royal Rumble, and then we get the Becky WrestleMania 35 booking where Big E beats them both in a triple threat match and walks away with both titles.
Wait,
There's
did you
only
say there's a
zero hope.
chance? Yeah, did you
Zero
say there's
hope.
a chance of that? There's no chance. There's no chance in hell.
What's in that can you're drinking? Tell me. What's in it? Pour it out right now.
Really, it should be cough syrup. Just straight cough syrup is what I should be drinking right now. And maybe it is. Who knows? We'll move on to our final match of the night. The most intriguing one to me, anyway, the Women's Royal Rumble. I think this one is wide open. I genuinely have no clue. It could be a legend. It could be a surprise winner. It could be a Bianca Belair going back-to-back. Could be somebody that SP3 desperately wants to win this match. And according to reports, could be a part of this matchup. Could be a returning superstar from injury. Who knows? SP3, I'll start with you. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. Who are you picking for the
I'm going on a milk run while SP3 does this, okay? Bear with me. My daughter is barking orders.
I am going for the surprise entrant, ladies and gentlemen. I believe in the reports. I believe in the rumors. I believe in the hype because I believe in this woman. Former UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion, UFC Hall of Famer, the number one reason Vince McMahon thought that women's main event at WrestleMania was a good thing, and the reason we got it for the first time at WrestleMania 35. Rowdy Ronda Rousey will win the Women's Royal Rumble, and I will win all the tears of wrestling social media as I will be showered in it as I celebrate the win. Yes, I will be collecting all of your tears when you're upset that Ronda Rousey eliminates Bianca Belair to win the Women's Royal Rumble.
You are taking it a step further now. You're just taking that knife, digging it in deep into the side of the Bianca Belair fans there, and then you're twisting. You're just twisting on top of that. And I very well could see WWE doing that. I could see Bianca Belair entering in the match at maybe number 1, maybe number 2, number 3, and having the performance of the night. Maybe she eliminates 10, 12 people and then gets down to the final.
People's elbow.
And then gets down to the final few as Alex dives back into the show here. And Ronda Rousey shows up at number 30, comes down there, starts doing some judo chops, starts doing some judo flips, chucks one chick over the top rope, 2 over the top rope, gets down to her and Bianca Belair, and then tosses her over the top. And absolutely, I could see that happening. And you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. I have Ronda Rousey entering the Royal Rumble at number 30. She is going to win the Royal Rumble. She is going to show up on Monday night in Cincinnati, stare Becky Lynch in her face in the middle of the ring, and say, "I choose you." And personally, I love the poetry of it. I love the symmetry of it. I love the full circleness of it. And we're finally going to get this one-on-one match between Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas. I'm picking Ronda Rousey to win the Women's Royal Rumble. Alex, how about yourself?
We're going to get the number one person at pointing to the sign, ladies and gentlemen. No one did it like Ronda.
And then Asuka's music will hit, and she will steal Ronda's moment this time.
Yeah, imagine. Ronda was like, forever. It's there! No, for me, I've got a few issues, right? Like that I need to.
We all have issues. We're wrestling fans,
of course, in my brain. Like, I do believe if Ronda's in it, right? She comes in at 30, she wins it. Sure. What's the deal though? Because Becky, really, we all wanted the one-on-one. We want Becky to tap Ronda. Ronda kind of still is the heel, right? Like, we don't forget what she was saying about fans not too long ago. It's SP3. Cut it out.
Alex, did we think that they would truly bring Becky Lynch back as a heel, though?
No,
would
we
not
didn't.
be WWE would
no, no,
easily bring Ronda back as a face.
And you're telling me WWE fans ain't fickle enough to forget?
Both
They
of you!
care?
I'm arriving at a point. Stop it, right? If Ronda is to be heel, then of course, right, what we're doing, heel versus heel, is Becky flipping again, because that in itself would rob Bianca Belair of the redemption story if you flip Becky back, is my point. You could flip her again once Ronda goes away, which she presumably would after WrestleMania, but it's all a bit stupid, is my point. Too many turns and chops and change. But I will say this. I've said this to SB3 a few times. There are the two biggest matches in wrestling, not just WWE, in wrestling that are available are Rock and Reigns and Rousey and Lynch. I don't care what anyone says on both ends of the spectrum. Name me a bigger, available, realistic matchup than either of those two. I'll save you the time. You cannot.
No,
It
I'm not
is
even
the
gonna
biggest
try.
matches. There's the biggest matches they've got. If you've got it on the table, you find a way to do it. So I'm not opposed to that. I would love to live in a world where Bianca Belair and her star power and story is actually factored into this. And she's, I don't know if you would use her, I guess, because if in a world without Rousey, by the way, I don't know if we're in unison here. I wanted a Bianca Belair repeat. I thought that was where we were going. Makes her way back to avenge Becky. I also quite like the story of Rhea winning and chasing Charlotte and actually getting some revenge on that story. But either or, if Rousey's in it, she wins. It's that simple. And I think if you've got Lynch and Rousey on the table, it's a no-brainer.
If Ronda's not in it, I think Bayley makes a ton of sense. Returning as a babyface to win it. And
that's very early from an ACL, no?
It is, but it is.
It's pretty early to come back from pregnancy as well. Let's just say
it is September.
It is. And that's why I'm sitting here. I'm saying we don't know exactly what the extent of the injury was. Now we do know that she did have surgery. We know WWE said she was going to be out 8 to 9 months, but we also know WWE likes to inflate those numbers. So when people come back, it is a shock. So Bayley
I would love it for the record. I'd love it. I would love it too. I'm not getting my own personal hopes up, just based on the timeline. And obviously, I've seen on her Instagram and stuff. She obviously did have a injury. We don't know exactly what it is, but yeah, I mean, just for her, she was done so filthy dirty last year.
Oh, God,
she deserves a huge spot this year. But yeah,
and I think that feud that's really of all the 4 horsewomen feuds, that's the one that we've been deprived of to this point is Becky and Bayley. We really haven't seen it. And I think a lot of us want to see it. So I wouldn't be mad if that was the result. But outside of Bayley, Ronda, and Bianca returning, I'm not sure who are repeating. I'm not sure who else would they would pull the trigger on this. One quick bonus question before we get to the debut of a new segment we're going to be doing here on these pay-per-view previews.
Good God.
You guys could pick, make a bold prediction. Make a bold prediction. Something you think, somebody you may think who's going to show up, something you think is going to happen in one of these matches. If you can make a bold prediction to come true for the Royal Rumble SP3, what do you think happens Saturday night?
I'm going to continue on the ship that I've been riding, because I want him to be in the Hall of Fame this year. So I want him to be the unexpected Forbidden Door entrant in the Men's Royal Rumble. You're dealing with the real deal now. D'Lo Brown of Impact Wrestling is going to be in the Royal Rumble, and he will go on to be in the Hall of Fame this year.
Sean Rossap did report today that there were a lot of out in left field candidates for this year's Royal Rumble as far as entrants and names that he's been talked about. So who knows? D'Lo Brown could very easily be there. Alex, a bold prediction for Saturday?
I don't know if it's bold. I think Dom gets rid of Ray in the match. And I think that's how we start moving forward with that story. But I mean, otherwise, in terms of like people that are going to be in the match, I think, again, they'll borrow a lot from NXT, kind of go side and side, hand in hand, with they're not too impressed with the ratings. They'll somehow believe, like they did with Survivor Series 2019, we'll put some NXT people in there. I'm sure it will help. It won't. But I think if I had to put a name on it. I honestly don't believe there'll be anybody from like the major companies or like an active top tier player. I'd love like a Tyson Kidd or like a Jason Jordan if they were capable, which Tyson Kidd I believe actually is. I think he's been cleared.
Corey
I'd love to
Graves,
see him.
Corey Graves,
Or
yeah.
Corey Graves is a shout as well, although doesn't bother me either way. But still, yeah, it'd be cool to see those things happen.
I'm along the same lines with you. And this is not something I'm going to get my hopes up for, but I never would have gotten my hopes up for the other two. In 2020, it was Edge. In 2021, it was Christian.
Oh God.
I'm hoping Paige. I'm hoping Paige
I
is
thought you were
able...
going to say Gangrel.
No. That's not where I was going. Gangrel could be there.
That would be great.
Gangrel could be there. I'm talking about coming back from what was thought to be at one point career-ending injuries. I'm hoping for her. I'm hoping for everybody else. I want to see her back and finish and get that Edge 2020 finish where she's in the final three.
That would be a great moment. My other predictions, I think that Omos is going to set the record for most people to take to eliminate him. Not the elimination. I think Braun Breaker is going to have the most eliminations in the men's Royal Rumble. I think they're gonna pit him in the Bianca Belair 2020 spot of NXT superstar debuting and having a good showing. But I think Omos, the record is, I think it's 8 people. It took to eliminate Mabel in, I believe, the 94 or 95 Rumble. So it's going to take 9 to 10 people to eliminate Omos.
95, I think. By the way, I think Liv Morgan goes a long way as well. I think she might be like an Iron Woman of sorts in the Women's Rumble. I think she plays that role well.
Yes, I think that and that's one of the things that scares me with Ronda coming back is what happens to people we finally start to see that have been elevated up a little bit higher up in the women's division. What happens to them?
I was very amused by Louis Dangoor, for those listening or watching. He just doesn't know to not say everything that he thinks, and he went on a rampage yesterday. Just like a Ronda Rousey rampage. I was like, why are you wasting your breath? He was just trying to explain to people why it's okay for Ronda to walk back in. And I was like, oh, God, Louis. But yes, I feel the exact same way. And do you know what? I remember in, 2012 when The Rock won this 10th title as the biggest Rock mark. I was going, yeah, so great. I remember my mate was like, no, man, it sucks. Like, they just ended Punk's reign. They ended Punk's reign over this. I was like, fuck you, man. What do you know? And he was right. He was right, and I was wrong. That's the message.
Everyone is wrong in this situation, and Louis is right. We must defend and protect Ronda Rousey. It's not her fault.
Protect Louis.
It's not her fault. It's not her fault that the WWE only cares more when she's around. A rising tide lifts all ships. You've had Becky and Charlotte fighting for the #1 spot for over a year now, and neither one has been able to elevate over the other. And now Ronda's going to come through and break through that and elevate above both of them and elevate the entire women's division, get them to the main event of WrestleMania once again. She was the first African-American woman to do it, ladies and gentlemen, because she is, I think, 3% African-American. I just want to let everybody know that.
Oh, no.
Put it out there.
Alex, I'm desperately rooting for you in this as we debut. Do you believe you can beat SP3? This is a very, very quick. This is a very, very quick trivia challenge for the self-proclaimed king of wrestling trivia, even though he is not the longest reigning, undefeated, undisputed Sportskeeda wrestling trivia champion. That would be me.
You lucky I didn't suggest for them to strip you of that. I'm the reigning and defending interim Sportskeeda wrestling trivia champion. I won
interim
fair
just
and square.
mean you ain't shit.
You're Cyril Gahn of this. That's what you are.
No. It means that Rick hasn't been around in like 3 months to defend the damn title.
I've been a little bit busy building a channel over here. Damn. And
the problem is that I know SP3 well and his knowledge, and he knows me very well and knows the exact areas where I actually know things. And and I'm probably in trouble. But no, it's fine. Let's go.
All right. So this is going to be in 3 rounds. The first one is going to be, I'll give you each individually a question. You have 30 seconds to give me as many answers as you can for this one question in 30 seconds. The next round will be 10 seconds long. Same rule. I will give you one question. You give me as many answers as you can, up to 5. And then we will have one head-to-head question at the end. All right? Which will be as many points as I deem necessary at the end of this matchup. So there will always be a chance for the person who is far behind, unless it's SP3. So we will start with you, Mr. Sid Polar III. All right. You have
I can't let the visitor go first.
No, it's you.
All right.
I've set this up this way. All right. It's
All right.
you first. You first. We're gonna do Snake. All right. So you're gonna go, then Alex will go twice, then you're gonna go, and then it's gonna be head to head. All right.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Cool.
So when you hear the music, I have music set up for this.
Oh, God.
When you hear the music, you have 30 seconds to name me Royal Rumble winners from the 90s. From the 90s.
Okay.
How does he get? Okay, I'm furious.
From the 90s. Now, there are some who have won it twice. So if you say them, you get 2 points.
Oh, okay. I don't have to say his name twice.
You don't have to say his name.
Can I go with aliases as well?
Just when you hear the music, all right?
Okay. All
right.
Vince McMahon, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Lex Luger, Yokozuna, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, aka Terrence from Florida.
That's it.
The music.
That's it. Didn't even need it. Clean sweep, 10 points. Son of a bee. I thought I was giving him a little bit harder going further back, but
the 90s, I would have relished that question, but no, it's fine.
All right,
okay.
Alex. All right. You, sir, get Royal Rumble winners from the early 2000s. We're talking 2000 through 2009. When you hear the music, go.
The Rock, Steve Austin, Brock Lesnar, Rey Mysterio, Batista. Why am I struggling so bad? What years have I got? I can't even remember. Triple H
for 2009.
Triple H. 2009. It wasn't Sheamus. No, it wasn't. Oh, it's all going wrong. Undertaker, Edge. No. Did Undertaker and Edge make it? Did they make it? Come on. Surely. It was on the ding. It was on the ding. Somebody give me a replay.
You didn't get the Undertaker. Did you say Cena? I don't think you said Cena.
No.
I don't think you said Orton.
I didn't say
No,
Cena.
you didn't say Randy Orton. Oh, God,
No.
dang it. I'm
Bollocks.
Why'd you make me laugh? I'm still getting over COVID. Oh, you didn't say Randy Orton. You didn't say John Cena. You didn't get the Undertaker in time. You didn't say.
How did I didn't get the Undertaker in time. What are you talking about? He was right on the bell.
I would say he got that one.
Did he? Okay, all right, fine.
I mean, to be fair,
I believe Chris Benoit was the other one you did not say.
I must have stricken Benoit from my mind.
He was reading WWE record books, ladies.
I was, yeah. Oh, Christ. 2009, for some reason, bugged me for like 10 seconds. I was like, what the fuck?
That was Randy Orton who won that one.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, my God. Okay, so the score. Oh, excuse me. Got to collect myself. The score is 10-6. All right, Alex.
Yo.
You have 10 seconds to name as many, up to 5, as many wrestlers as you can who appeared in Ready to Rumble.
What the fuck is this?
I wish I got that question.
Have you seen Ready to Rumble?
No.
You have not seen Ready to Rumble.
The best wrestler.
No.
He's the bestler. Better than all the wrestler.
I'll say this much. At least I'll give you a hint. At least one of these guys is active. The rest-
I feel like it. I'll give it a go. I feel like was it a WCW thing?
Yeah, it was a WCW film.
Okay.
right.
I believe I know one. So
all right.
we'll go
When
with
you hear the
that.
music, all right. 10 seconds.
Sting, I think. Oh God, who was around this time? Macho Man, Warrior. I don't know.
You got
Lex
two.
Luger.
You got
Oh.
two. Macho
All
Man
right.
Randy Savage was in it. As so was Goldberg, DDP, Mr. Perfect, Juventud Guerrera, Bam Bam
Good
Bigelow, Disco Inferno, Rey Mysterio,
Okay.
Saturn, Booker T, Conan, Kidman,
Prince
and Sid
Iakea.
Vicious. Huh?
Prince Iakea.
Prince Iakea
Oh,
was in there
wow.
as well. Yes.
The short-lived Prince Iakea. Oh, yeah.
All right, SP3. You have 10 seconds. This isn't Rumble related, but it's movie related.
Oh damn.
10, name up to the 5 wrestlers who appeared in The Longest Yard.
Oh, I could do that one.
Oh damn. We should
Damn.
have switched questions.
Yeah.
Five
Got three just
wrestlers.
like that.
5 wrestlers who
Five?
appeared.
Get the time
Five.
going. Get it going, I said.
All right, when you hear the music, go.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, Goldberg, Kevin Nash. That's all I got, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the ones I remember.
You were right on all 3.
Rick,
I'm
what's
dying.
going on, mate?
I
Huh?
am dying. You said Goldberg, Kevin
Not
Nash, and
nice,
Stone
the
Cold Steve
answer.
Austin, yeah?
Yes.
The other 2 were the Great
Hey.
Khali
Oh!
You didn't even let me do it. I'm furious.
and Bob Sapp. Bob Sapp was the other one.
Oh, I would have totally not got that one. But
Yeah.
Great Khali, I'm mad I didn't remember that one.
So add 3 onto the score. It is 13 to add 2. So 13-8 is the score, which means our final question will be worth 6 points. Ironically enough here. So we'll do chime in, and it's whoever gets as closest to the actual answer.
Oh wow. Okay.
So chime in if you want the first guess. Here we go. See if Alex believes he can beat Sid Pollard III.
He doesn't. Okay, let's go.
6 years ago this week, AJ Styles made his WWE debut in the Royal Rumble match. He entered in at number 3 and was later eliminated by Kevin Owens. Again, closest answer gets the points. How long did AJ Styles last in that 2016 Royal Rumble match?
Ding.
Oh,
Ding, ding.
First guess.
28 minutes.
28 minutes. Exactly?
28:06.
28:06 is incorrect.
Mm,
Alex McCarthy, your guess for the come from behind win.
He. Oh, this
You
is
can,
so
you
hard.
can go
'cause I'm
over and still win too. I'm
well,
not doing price fight rules.
this is what I mean. I'm going to be like a douche, and I'm going to go either side, just one. But because that's what real shithousery is. I feel like it wasn't that long, but I could be. You know what? What did you say? 28:06. 28:07.
Yo, if I lose like this is some BS. This is the people working against me, ladies and gentlemen.
The correct answer. 28 minutes and 58 seconds.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you literally kidding me? I beat him 2 rounds. 2 straight rounds.
It's winner takes all.
He says 1 second higher and he wins. This is some BS, ladies and gentlemen. The screw job is in.
It's that good karma for forgetting Chris Benoit. They said this boy. Oh my word!
Oh
I'm
my
so
God,
close
I need
to
more
going
drink.
Shorter.
Oh, Jesus. That couldn't have worked out better.
It's
The trivia champ goes down. The trivia champ goes down, and that means Alex McCarthy. That means Alex McCarthy has 30 seconds all to himself to pimp whatever the hell he's got going on. Tell the fine folks where they can find you, what they got going on, good sir.
I love the way that SP3 is so knowledgeable that you had to make a final round designed to beat him. Never mind. SP3, you my wonderful brother. Talk Wrestling is back this week. The podcast, you can catch that on all podcast providers. It's also in every Talk Sport Wrestling article, which of course this week I've got interviews with Seth Rollins. I've got another with Anthony Ogogo that's dropping as well. So make sure you check out AlexM_Talksport on Twitter, where you will find all of said content. Otherwise, make sure you support all my good friends, like my guys here, Steph Chase over at AEW as well. And I know Sa'i Nyangi is going for the championship on Wrestle Talk this weekend to support all the Wrestling Daily crew on their new ventures. And thank you, guys, for having me tonight for this nice and short 15-20 minute show.
I told you.
One of these days we'll learn the pacing. We'll get everything figured out. I'll figure out when to shut up and when to let Sid shut up, and we'll get these some bitches down under the.
Not with the Daily Boys. You'll never figure it out with the Daily Boys. Let me tell you.
Well, Alex, we do really, really appreciate it. We hope you enjoy the Rumble. We'll have you on again sometime, good sir. SP3, pimp what you got going on this weekend on the True Heel Heat Wrestling channel. What's going on? I know you got a big guest this week. It's not me though.
I got screwed, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to put that out there first, but check out True Heel Heat 160 on Saturday at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. We got special guest Andrew Zarian of the Mat Man Podcast and Wrestling Observer. Very excited to have him on the show. We're going to be previewing the Royal Rumble, so check it out. Myself, Miss Chrissy Love, Top Guy JJ, and I will also be going for the championship over on Wrestle Talk Podcast YouTube channel during their Royal Rumble live stream. So I will collect the championship to go along with my interim Sportskeeda Wrestling Trivia Championship, just like I will collect Rick's title when he finally decides to defend it. And this is why I'm here.
Can I just say at this point, I just saw that Fightful was saying that Kairi Sane was asked to be in the Rumble. That would have been a nice surprise. Like that.
Yes. Kyrie and Oscar. I'm interested.
These are happy notes to end on. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah. Especially considering, that women's division could use some tag teams. So let's bring them back post haste, please. Guys, again, please make sure to subscribe to the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast channel. We really, really need to get those subscriptions up. If you subscribe, if you follow Sid and myself on Twitter, you are registered to win $50 free cash money to WWE Shop. We'll be pulling that winner at random and contacting you on Monday. So today is Friday. That means you have 4 more days to get in there and get entered, counting today. So we really, really appreciate your support. Thank you for listening for the entire 57 minutes of this 20-minute podcast. And follow SP3, follow Alex McCarthy, follow myself, and most importantly, have a wonderful, wonderful Royal Rumble weekend, and go Bengals.